CSS stands for Cascaded Style Sheets. CSS describes how HTML elements are to be displayed on the screen, paper, or in other media. CSS is used to define styles for your web pages, including the design, layout, and variations in display for different devices and screen sizes. The style definitions are normally saved in an external.css file. With an external style sheet file, you can change the look of an entire website by changing just one file. So let's look at the syntax and of CSS. The syntax rule set consists of selector and a declaration block. So the selector, so you can see that H1 here represents the selector, while the declaration block has two parts, the property and the value. For example, the color here is given a value of blue, while the font size is given a value of 12 pixels. So the selector points to the HTML elements you want to style. The declaration block contains one or more declarations separated by a semicolon. Each declaration includes a CSS property name and a value separated by a colon. A CSS declaration always ends with a semicolon, and declaration blocks are surrounded by curly braces. The ID selector uses the ID attribute of an HTML element to select a specific element. The ID of an element should be unique, so the ID selector is used to select one unique element. To select an element with a specific ID, write a hash character followed by the ID of the element. The style rule below will be applied to the HTML element with ID is equal to para1. So you can see, example, the hash para1, then you have text align, brace open and close, text align is equal to center and color is equal to red. So note, an ID name cannot start with a number. So let's look at this HTML block and see how this is applied. So you see within the style element you have the ID selector, and of course you have your declaration here. Text align is center. So this is the property, this is a value, and this is also the property, and this is the value. So text align, alignment of text will be center while the color will be red. So how is it used within the text? Now look at this paragraph element and look at this other one. So here, the paragraph element here doesn't have any styling in it, so it will come out as black. But here, this paragraph element automatically has an ID pointing to para1, and the word here is hello world. So what do we expect? What we expect to see here is that when you run this ID will automatically convert this text here to the styling that we specified, while this one will remain in a default location. So let's see how this is done. So I'll move to experiment 3. So you can see here that this is where the style is defined, and here this is automatically attributed to this first paragraph with the text hello world, and the second paragraph doesn't have any styling in it. So now we expect hello world will be center aligned and the color will be red, while this one remains in its default left position and the color will be black. So let's see how this is applied. So I will just go to run and click launch Chrome, and once this is done you can see how it is. The class selector selects element with a specific class attribute. To select element with a specific class, write a period character followed by the name of the class. In the example below, all HTML elements with the class center will be red and center aligned. So you can see here that the class selector here is center and it has a period. Let's see the HTML block starting from here. Don't forget, your styling starts from the styling tag start from here. So you can see here we employing the style selector to specify what we to declare what we want to do. So our property here is text align center and the color is red. So let's see how this will be applied to. We specifically mentioned the class and the class selector name, and we said it should apply here. And of course, we specifically mentioned the name of the class and the class selector name, and we said it should apply here. So let's see how this happens. Will be used in our documents. So in this HTML block, you can see from that this automatically indicates the class selector because of the period that we have before the class selector ID, and these are the declarations. So when we come down here, we have to specifically mention the class, and we call up the class selector name, and so whatever declaration we made will be attributed to this. So if this assuming that we had something different, maybe so let me define another class. Maybe this is sent, and we're telling this one to be left aligned, left, and we say the color here should be blue. And if we apply this to the paragraph tag on the main document, so what we expect to see is that this will be formatted differently from here. So let's run this and see how we're going to appear. So I'll go to run, then I click on launch Chrome, and you can see it. So we're now going to look at the 3 ways to insert CSS. So the 3 ways are external style sheet, internal style sheet, and the inline style. So in the external style sheet, you can change the look of an entire website by changing just one file. Each page must include a reference to the external style sheet file inside the link element. So the link element goes inside the header section. So for example, this is how it's defined. So you have to specifically mention the relationship style sheet and the type, and from there you will now specify the file, the path to the file. In this case, the CSS file is called my style. So you can put this directly in the same folder with this HTML document. And once that is done, a external style sheet can be written in any text editor. The file should not contain any HTML tags. The style sheet file must be saved with a .css extension. So here's how the style.css looks like. So you have the body, then you specify declare what will be the features of the body in terms of the properties and the values. Then you can also have another ID is specified with its own declaration, and when you call all this up in the main document, then they will apply accordingly. So the next thing will be within the heading, you have to specify where this external style file is, and then you now apply it to the body of the file. So what you define, the format that you define for the header will be applied to it, and the format you define for P will be defined based on the reference that you have specified here. So let's see how this is used. So now I have a style.css file already created on my folder. So I have it here, style5.css, in the same folder with the HTML document file which I'm trying to work on. So and that style.css file has all its attributes and the declarations, and here I made a reference to it. I specifically made a reference to it so the system will know where to pick it up. Then I'm telling it to apply to this and this. So what did we specify? What is the declaration under header? What's the declaration under on the paragraph? You can find that here. We'll see that for the header, we said the color should be navy, and of course the margin should be 20. The margin left should be 20 pixels. Then here we said the body color should be light blue. But you notice that we didn't specify anything for the paragraph, so we expect that this paragraph will be left aligned and black. So once we run this, that's the default formatting structure. So you can see this is left aligned and black, and this has been applied. The 20 pixels is here. So I'll show you another way to apply CSS on our file. This is called internal style sheet. An internal style sheet may be used if a single page has a unique style. So internal style sheets styles are defined within the style element inside the header section of an HTML. So within this style, you can see we define. So if you notice, what we've been doing previously has always been internal style sheet, except the last one we did, which we needed to create an external file. So here we specify the body color, and here we're applying, we declaring what will be the properties and the values for different attributes for the header section. So once this is applied, you now see that the changes will take place accordingly. So I'll go to the file again and click on the experiment 6, and this is exactly what you find. So here this is applied within the header section, and once we save this and run, then we'll see exactly what we're looking at. An inline style may be used to apply a unique style for a single element. To use inline styles, and add the style attribute to the relevant element, The style attribute can contain any CSS property. You specify style and you now specify the attribute for this. So you can see all these are declared on the same line, and once you do this on an active document, you will now see how it's going to look like. So I'll go straight there to experiment 6. So here we are applying it not within the header section but directly to the either the paragraph or the header section, as the case may be, and that will affect that particular attribute within that element that is being specified. So if we run this, you can see that affects only that without affecting the entire document. So we're going to look at the cascading order. So what style will be used when there is more than one style specified for an HTML element? All the styles in a page will cascade into a single virtual style sheet by the following rules, where number 1 has the highest priority. 1 is inline style inside an HTML element. The second will be external and internal style sheets in the head section. Then the third one will be browser default. So an inline style has the highest priority and will override external and internal style and browser default. Thank you for listening.